Hey everybody, we're still in February, so here's another relationships video. Thank you for those who watched the last one about dating. This one is about, is your relationship chipping away at your sense of self, your sense of self-esteem? You know, it's no doubt that a healthy relationship can help us feel like we're nourished and more fulfilled in life. Yet when we are not in a particularly healthy relationship, then it can have us questioning ourselves and doubting ourselves and bit by bit chipping away at who we are and our sense of value in the world. So the next few tips, there's going to be 6 of them, are going to help you work your way through this. Okay, so step 1, take a pen and paper and really get clear on where you feel your partner is chipping away at your sense of self. What is it they're doing? You know, are they being critical? Are they being full of contempt? Are they stonewalling? Are they chipping away at what you think is of value in the world? Are they dissing your beliefs? There could be many ways this is happening, but to get clear on when it's happening and do this in a quiet space, you can become a bit more objective. Then this will help you see what you're really dealing with and how often it's happening. You know, every relationship has ups and downs to it, and people will show a side themselves that we don't particularly like, but we can all play that where we might become critical for a bit and then realise that we're being critical and be accountable for our own behaviour. So it's not about just nitpicking, but being very clear on where this is happening. Remember, in every healthy relationship, you have to have 7 times as many good times as you do bad in order to keep the emotional bank account stacked. Step 2, be accountable. Now, we don't want to get into a blame game, do we? Because it's all very well pointing the finger, but then, as I say, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. And we have to be accountable for our own behaviour. And what are we bringing to the table? How are we responding to situations? If someone is critical of us, or they're being condemning, or they're stonewalling, it can often trigger us and we get on defensive. So we have to be accountable for what we are adding to the situation as well. So being accountable will help us take steps to start to change anything we may need to change. Step 3, ditch the blame game. Just like I was saying in point 2, you know, it's easy to blame, right? Because we can get into this habit and back and forth. It doesn't help things move along though, and test out whether a relationship is worth staying in and whether it's something that you can grow and develop in. And so focusing on what part you can play and where you could maybe make a change that would influence the whole system, because a relationship is like a system. When one part changes, the whole system will change. It's easy to sit there and say, well, the other person should make the first move, but someone's got to do it. And so if you can do it, it may as well be you. So focusing on what you can see as the positive attributes about your partner, rather than getting into the blame game, will help you maybe start to voice and air some positive appreciation when they do things well. Now, what this can actually do is reflect back to them without pointing out directly their poor behaviour. Because this is not about being a doormat or anything, this is about just noticing, in all honesty, when the person is doing something positively, and knowing that we can control our part, can't control them, and how actually by changing our own behaviour we can influence their behaviour too. Step 4, label the criticisms that seem to resonate with you most, the sort of behaviour and the type of comments or whatever it is that's particularly bothering you, and write them down. Because sometimes we can start believing something when actually it's not really based in reality, if we're told it enough times. And if our sense of self isn't that strong, then that can be the thing we take on and we start to churn it and absorb it rather than just spitting it out. So write down those behaviours and then go and speak to some friends or some families or people that care about you and ask their honest opinion. This will help you gain some perspective and start to see things from a more rational point of view. Step 5, if you've gone through all the other steps I have given you, then you have your list and you have had some time for reflection and to really get a grasp of what it is you're dealing with and any part you might be playing. And then it's time to confront your partner and have a really honest conversation with them. And is this relationship worth continuing with? What is it you can do to move forwards? Because sometimes actually someone might not even realise they start to behave in a certain way. And bringing some awareness to it and having a conversation which talks about things and how you feel rather than blaming the other person can actually start to open it up to possibilities of how it could be in the future. So I hope this is giving you some insights, has been helpful in some way. If so, please leave me a comment, tag a friend who might like this, and if you want to join the I'm Back group, which I have running with Lisa Oxenham, who's the beauty director of Marie Claire, where we discuss all sorts of things from therapeutic tips to makeup to nutrition, beauty, then we are #I'm Back over on Facebook, and I'll speak to you soon.